What's up, bros and broettes? Lachezar here. As you all know, the current COVID situation has forced all gyms to close, so I'm going to be taking you through a back and biceps workout with minimal equipment for muscular development. I'm also going to be showing variations of the exercises according to individual ability and equipment availability. Starting off with the back muscles, the first muscle group to be targeted is the latissimus dorsi. The latissimus dorsi is the muscle group that will make your back appear wider, ultimately giving you a more dramatic V-taper. Electromyographic or EMG signals indicated muscle activation in chin-ups and pull-ups to be between 117 and 130% for latissimus dorsi and 78 to 96% for biceps brachii. However, the biceps brachii had a significantly higher EMG activation during the chin-ups over pull-ups, prompting pull-ups to be a more latissimus dorsi recruiting movement. To perform a correct pull-up, you need to first grip onto the bar slightly wider than shoulder width, using a pronated grip, in other words, facing away from you. Let your body hang freely and retract your scapulae as demonstrated. Given a pull-up is too challenging for you, you can try using a resistance band to help you pull yourself up, or hop from the floor and focus on controlling the eccentric part of the motion. If a regular pull-up is too easy for you, you can opt for using a weight belt and add additional weight to make pull-ups more challenging. The next muscle groups to be targeted are the infraspinatus, middle and lower trapezius, as well as the erector spinae. These muscle groups will give your back a thicker and more defined look. In the selection of best exercises for these muscle groups, a study of 19 healthy males with the reports of EMG signals was taken. Two of the best movements for muscle activation in the middle trapezius were seen to be the bent over row and the seated row. The bent over row was also seen to have the best muscle activation of the erector spinae, in contrast to the other 7 sampled back exercises. When performing a bent over row, do not try and squat, but rather bend over from your hips or hip hinge until your body is parallel to the ground. Once again, retract your scapulae when pulling and focus on the time under tension. Do not pull the bar up to your chest, but rather close to your abdomen while keeping your elbows tucked in. When performing the seated row, do not lean back but try and keep your body upright. Remember to keep your chest out, scapulae retracted and elbows tucked in close to your body. Time under tension should also be kept in mind. Looking into the function of the biceps, this muscle group is responsible for both elbow flexion, but also forearm supination, which gets often overlooked. For biceps training, a study with effects of the shoulder position on the biceps was considered. This study used a static MVC test and accounted for EMG activation during 3 phases for both concentric and eccentric stages. The tests were performed seated by 22 male subjects with different shoulder positions. Seated position with elbow at 90 degrees, with a supinated forearm, much like a regular dumbbell curl. Seated with trunk in vertical position and shoulder flexed at 50 degrees, much like a preacher curl. And seated with 50 degrees of trunk, hyperextension, and the arm hanging freely, like in an incline bench curl. No statistical difference was observed between incline dumbbell curls and dumbbell bicep curls for muscle activation in both the concentric and eccentric phases, following a similar pattern of muscle activation. Contrary to this, the dumbbell preacher curl had an opposite trend throughout the phases for both concentric and eccentric contractions, showing the highest level of activation close to full elbow extension. In conclusion, the incline dumbbell curl and dumbbell bicep curl have a more consistent muscle activation throughout the whole range of motion. However, it may be a good idea to also perform a preacher curl for optimal muscle activation near full elbow extension. The exercise selection was done according to the evidence found regarding muscle activation, with equipment availability in mind. Thus, almost all movements could be performed with various equipment. If you're going to be using dumbbells, grabbing them in the middle would distribute the weight evenly. By grabbing the outer portion of the dumbbell, you would put it out of balance, which will make it more challenging to supinate, and thus more efficient in the targeted muscular recruitment. find this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. The studies used have been linked in the description box down below. Leave your comments with anything fitness related you would like me to cover, and I'll see you in the next one.